Hello folks, this is Yamil for Gunstock Reviews. We're here in Phoenix, Arizona at the home base of Enloe Customs with Marty. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Hey Marty, I went ahead and I put together this Glock, or semi-Glock if you want to call it this way. It is a Glock OEM frame that I built earlier on the channel. We built a bunch of frames. I added the Apex tactical trigger for the Glock, the red one with the new wide safety on it. And I use a Rival Arms slide, a Rival Arms barrel, a Rival Arms front and rear sight that actually elevated for the True Glow red dot sight.
Red dot sight, okay.
And the only thing on the slide that is not OEM is the extractor and the plunger, the safety plunger, which
Apex
is
plunger.
The Apex plunger. Okay. I also use the Rival Arms backplate on it, which it came with a kit.
Looks nice.
So it was really nice. I mean, it's machined from solid aluminum, and it's not a piece of plastic like the OEM factory ones are. So what I did is I want to make sure that I'm not going to blow myself up when I fire it.
Okay.
I just put it together last week. Marty, check it out.
Let's see it. There we go.
Oh, also, Marty, I use an ISMI recoil spring and guide rod.
Okay.
Which is you can get those at Brownells, and I ordered those some time ago. Other than the excess of oil,
yeah,
I went to town with my gunfighter gun oil.
I can tell. So one of the things I'm doing here is I'm feeling the spring, right? I'm feeling the spring. I want to feel it go up and down, because if you got these in here wrong, they can be twisted and you'll get a lot of, let's just say for whatever reason you got it out, the spring fell out for some reason, right? I go in here and I press, it's like, yes, it'll move, it'll squish in there because it is a spring, but it should move plainly up and down. I'm also feeling the striker float back and forth, right? So I'm pressing the plunger and I'm feeling it float back and forth. Now you said you put a sleeve inside there?
Yes, I put the channel OEM channel liner.
Yeah, the channel liner. So the channel liner, if the channel liner's not in place, it won't do this. You know, I'm pressing the plunger and just listening to it go back and forth. If you can hear the little dink, right? So what I'm doing is I'm just checking that, and then I'm also just depressing the firing pin up against the striker, up against the plunger there with it out, and I'm making sure that, okay, the plunger, the striker itself, the nose of the striker isn't protruding past the breech face there. So just in the event that, you know, it would fire. And yeah, you got a little oil on it.
I'm sorry, I just.
But so now I'm taking a look at the fire control. You know, it's a good idea. Yeah, you see me kind of hitting this the mag release here. You got an extended mag release. I'm just kind of making sure I'm pushing at it just to make sure it works, right? But I mean, I can always just check the magazine feed, and what I'm also doing is I'm looking at the slide stop. Is the slide stop snapping back into place? Is it floating around in here? You see me kind of pushing this back and forth, right? And the reason I'm pushing it back and forth, if your trigger pin isn't in correctly, right, this thing will get kind of stuck in here. We want this to be free floating, right? Now your pins are in place. The fact that it's snapping down means that you have your spring that goes to your slide release here, right? It is sitting in the correct spot underneath this this additional pin here in the that's holding the block in place. Your block is good. I'm just checking to see that your stop is in place, right? And I'm actually pushing the
trigger bar.
The trigger bar forward. Thank you. Right. And I don't necessarily want to just sit here and pull the trigger. If I sit here and I pull the trigger like this, right, you'll notice that there's no load on the striker itself, right? I'm actually pressing this forward, right? I'm pressing this forward, and the reason why is because if I just simply pull the trigger here, what's going to happen? This safety, right? This safety on the trigger, this new wide one that you're talking about from Apex, right? I want that forward because right there, it doesn't rub on the frame. Right there, it does. And if I sit here and pull the trigger, I'm gonna damage the frame. I'm gonna damage the frame, and I'm gonna defeat that safety over time. So we don't necessarily want to do that, right? So I just want to make sure that, okay, that's got adequate clearance. And I'm also looking at another thing back here. This is your cruciform, right? So there's a safety with all your anti-seize here. There's a safety, at least built into the system here, that you can kind of see, right? That I want to make sure that as I depress this back portion that contacts the striker, I want to make sure that as I push forward where it would be under load, that it's not going down out of the way, right? I have seen some systems in the past, you'll notice how when this goes back, it actually kind of travels down. And when I've seen some systems in the past that basically try to defeat the cruciform. Well, right there, if I push down, that piece is going out of the way, versus if I put a load on it, it doesn't move out of the way. So we're just checking the safety there. Other than that, you know, your pins are all in place, everything looks good. It cycles just, or at least it cycles just fine. And then one other thing, I'm gonna just assemble this. And want to verify it's unloaded. Now I don't want to do this a tremendous amount and just dry firing, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the trigger. So I have it just that's pointed in a safe direction. I'm going to pull the trigger, right? And then I'm going to hold the trigger depressed, rack the gun, and then just feel the reset. And it reset just fine. So I'm going to try it one more time. Rack the gun. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here, I'm going to put my finger on both sides of the trigger itself, right? And I'm going to press back on the trigger without depressing the safety. So you'll notice how the safety is there, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to verify that, okay, that system works, and for the most part, it's a good build.
Well, thank you. It's really simple to build these things. You just follow directions and make sure that you don't do anything stupid.
Yeah.
And when you get good parts, like of course OEM grip from Glock, we got a trigger kit from Apex, we have a slide barrel and sights from Rival Arms, and we have a guide rod and recoil spring from ISMI. This pistol is ready to go to the range, is being cleared by a gunsmith, Marty. So remember, stay tuned for more. We're going to take this pistol to the range, and like always, be safe and have fun at the range.
Gun Stock Reviews. Please visit our website at www.gunstockreviews.com for more exclusive content. Please visit our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/gunstockreviews. Your contributions would be greatly appreciated and help us grow our selections and frequency of videos.